What's up, everybody? So I'm out here at a nice little campsite, but that is the river right there, the Platte River. I don't know if you guys can see it from here. I'll take you up a little bit closer, but most of it's kind of frozen over, but you can see there's ice flowing in the middle here. And then if you go off this way, there's a little island, sandbar, and it is full of geese. They're all hanging out over there. And I'm just gonna hang out for the evening. I didn't bring any fishing stuff with me. I didn't plan to fish. The ice isn't good enough around here. I went and checked some this morning, but it's been like 40 degrees the last 3 days now, and it's actually like 45 right now. So our ice is not safe. We only had about 3 inches to begin with. So I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna cook some supper tonight. I've got a little bit of a different recipe. I know I've been cooking a lot of those Mountain House meals lately, so I decided I'd do something a little bit different, try something else, something that I like to do at home quite a bit. So we'll get into that in a little while, but I'm gonna go wander around a little bit. I've got a couple spots around here I'd like to check out, and I'll show you guys what's going on with the river and the geese here, so stay tuned. So I've got the camper all set up. I've got the Reflectix up on the windows. It's on the side and the tailgate window. I'm running an electric heater today since I do have electrical hookup. I do have the Mr. Buddy propane heater under the bed here, but there's no reason to do that. I like this one because I can set it to a thermostat on there and it'll just kick on and off whenever it needs to. I didn't bring a ton of stuff with me this time because, like I said, I'm not fishing, but I kind of feel like maybe I should have, because if you look down here, this spot right here is all open. I don't know, there could be some kitties hanging out right there. I caught one off of that tree there beginning of this year before I started filming. It was like a 5-pound channel cat. But if you can see all the geese over there, focus, there we go. They're all over the place. Just hanging out. And then you can see out here, zoom out a little bit, it's all frozen right here still, but then it's all flowing in the middle, all the way down. So I thought it would be kind of cool to come hang out and do a little camp adventure tonight. I'd like to see how well that Reflectix in the back of the truck helps keep it warm. I know I have the heater with the thermostat on it, but last time I used it when it was about this cold out here, it turned on like every 30 seconds to a minute back there if you had it set to like 60 degrees. So if we can cut down on the amount of times that thing kicks on and makes noise, that would be pretty good. But I'm gonna do a little bit of wandering around. I believe if I walk over here to this little like tree line area behind me, I think there's a little creek back there. So I'm gonna take a walk over there and we'll go see what we can find. I think I could get through right over here. Yeah, there's a little pathway. I was looking at this spot on maps and I thought that there was a little creek coming off over here, and there is. Huh. There's been some rickies and some deers down here. Yeah, there's a little creek area. Although if you look in the middle there, that looks dirty, and so does that. I don't know how deep this would be. But it goes all the way back over there, and that's coming right off the Platte River right there. I might have to come check this little creek area out in the summer, see if there's any catfish hanging out down here. I think if you fished right here in the mouth of this little stream off the main current out here, that you could probably have some luck. And there's a nice laydown right there that they might kind of hide up in. The condition of this river here changed a lot this spring when we had flooding. You can see along the other side of the bank, it's all, well, you guys probably can't see it, but it's all sandbars now that were not there before. So the flow has changed quite a bit out here. And it's actually kind of surprising to see how fast that water's moving. When you're out here in the summer, it does not look like it's moving that quick, but I wonder if I can get back out if I go up this direction. Yeah, there's little paths all over right here. This would be a nice spot over here I camped a little bit farther away. Ooh, where's the truck? Right there. But you can camp right here, and then I'd be right on this little area, this little creek here. If I came down here in the summer, I'm not daring enough to fish any of our frozen creeks here. I don't think anybody does. I would doubt that they get thick enough. I mean, some of them will freeze over. As you can saw, that little one over there was frozen over. But I do not have any desire to fall into the river, because you fall in, there's current, you're gone. You ain't getting that back up that hole. If you go under, you're in trouble. Walk back up over here to the camper. Yeah, this is a nice little spot. You can see everything's starting to melt. Walking up, it looks like used to be a little observation deck for the river here. They've got it closed off since the flood. Oh yeah, that's pretty ratty. I probably wouldn't walk on that either. I didn't know that there was a little stream there, although it doesn't look like it's flowing or anything. Be kind of neat to see what that placard says there. And there's a trail right there. I didn't know that there was a trail that went along this part of the river. Huh. Maybe when they get that fixed, I'll have to come back out here. There's some remnants of the flood right there. There we go. 55. Where is it at? There's a 55-gallon drum laying right there. Wonder if there's anything fun inside of that. But yeah, things haven't completely got cleaned up here yet, even though it's been a year. Even though it's been a year, they are, ooh, that lens is dirty. Hopefully everything doesn't look terrible. Clean you guys off a little bit. There we go. Yeah, everything is still kind of messed up from the flood. There's a big part of this park that still isn't open yet because of the flooding, and it's been since this spring, but they said that it's probably going to flood again this coming spring. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with all that stuff really, but yeah, there's a bunch of sand here. Even like this didn't have sand up here. This was all dirt. This was all underwater this spring. Pretty cool spot though. I'm just gonna go kind of hang out in the camper for a little bit, see what that Reflectix feels like, and then once it starts getting dark, once the sun starts getting a little bit lower, we'll think about supper and see how we're gonna cook it. I really just need to heat up water so I can use my little Coleman stove and the little water container, but I'm gonna climb up in here and just hang out for a little bit and see how this feels. I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. That's a room with a view. I had the tailgate closed with that Reflectix stuff over the back end. You can't see anything, but my hair looks amazing right now. Yeah, you can't see anything in here. It's completely dark. I've thought about either cutting this in half or just cutting like a C square out of that so you have a flap that you can open up, but I'd like to do that on the back and the front. And then I think on these side windows, I might cut them in half, and that way I can, if I want to look out or just spread them apart or something, if I want to open the window, I can. But I haven't quite decided on that yet, but it would be nice to be able to leave that stuff up, yet still get a little bit of light in here and not have to run my headlamp or something like that. But I got the heater cranked up, and it's toasty in here, even with that back window completely open. I'm just watching the ice flow by and mindlessly scrolling through my phone at the moment. Well, there's a couple floating by in the water. See a few more through the tree there. Oh, here comes the other ones. These guys are loud. That's my view right out of the back end of my camper. Listening to those dudes. It's pretty cool. See how far as the zoom goes. Alright guys, well, it's starting to get, I guess you can't really tell as bright as it seems to be in here, but it's starting to get pretty chilly, and it's starting to get a little bit darker out. I think it's about 4:30, 5 o'clock, something like that. So we're gonna lose the sun here really quick. So I'm gonna get supper going. I'm starting to get pretty hungry. I've just been hanging out back here. I had a movie going for a little while on the tablet, but I'm gonna get supper cooked up. So I'm making, you can call them trash can burritos. Really, you can call them whatever you want. Basically, it's ramen on a tortilla, and then you can put any kind of stuff you want with it. Use any kind of ramen. The ramen's just really good filler. And they fill you up, and they're really cheap. And like I said, it's a trash can. You can put anything you want in it. So we're gonna get started here. So I'm gonna use cheddar soup. I've got some sriracha. Let's see. Some green chilies. That reflection's not doing too well, is it? Green chilies. Some bean dip. So this is, you can just throw this right on without heating it up. It's in the chip aisle. And what else did I grab? Oh, I've got some summer sausage. I'll put some sausage on there. Sausage. Then I've got some different chips. I think I'm gonna throw some chili cheese Fritos on there, and then I've got some tortillas. So I need to get some water on the little stove here. I'm gonna cook right in the back of the truck. I do have the back window open, but I'm gonna cook right back here because it's starting to get cold out, and I really don't want to go out there. I did big firewood with me, but I'm not too keen on starting that up right now. I don't really want to sit out there. I've got a great view just straight out of the back of the truck. All the geese are still hanging out right out there, so it's not too bad. I don't know if you guys can hear them or not, but okay, so got all my ingredients just laid out on the floor here. I'm gonna pull the old heater out. I'll get you guys set up somewhere where you can basically see most of what I'm doing, so hold on a second. All right, we're gonna get the heater out of the drawer here. Got the cooler back here now. Now they say don't use these indoors, obviously, but I do have the whole back end of this thing open, so I'm not worried about any fumes or anything like that. Like that, and I'm going to set it on the floor. I don't want it really close to the ceiling, and it's going to stay kind of towards the tailgate, just away from everything. Water here, water jug. Disc brake for on top of the stove. I'll show you guys that once it's cooking up, but got some water here in the cooler. I just need enough to cook this soup. That should probably be enough. Alright guys, we are cooking. So I need to cut some summer sausage up. I've got my fillet knife over here in my little food tray. Don't need a ton of this. I did bring a plastic bag with me so I can put it in there afterwards, but it's not unsealed. And I'm just gonna, I don't know, that's probably enough right there. Got a nice hunk of sausage. I can snack on this if I want some more food later. Hopefully it'll fit in this bag. Maybe. Just barely. I'll probably throw that in the cooler. It's got the skins on it. Yeah. Okay, I've got my piece of sausage cut up. I'll take my soup. I'm going to crush that up a little bit. Geese are getting really loud. Try not to put any holes in the styrofoam. You don't want to do that. I don't know if I brought a fork with me to crush any more of it up, but water's heating up nice. I've got a spoon in here. Keep crushing it up. Once again, don't put a hole in your styrofoam. See that water's heating up pretty quick? Okay, we've got our soup basically crushed up. I mean, normally it's way up here when you open the package. It's way down here now. So that gives me some room in my container. And I'm gonna peel this skin off of this summer sausage here. And then I'm just gonna chop little pieces off of this. And I'm gonna put this right in there, and I'm gonna put the water on there with it. So you get some of the sausage juice and everything. Careful not to cut myself. On the floor. 5-second rule to my own camper. Cut this piece in half. Go. Put the knife back in its holder so I don't stab myself with it. We're going to cook these two things together. I'm going to kind of shake it up. Try to get some of that sausage down below. Oh, got a little chunk come out of there. Now it's kind of filled back up. And you got sausage pieces in there. See if this is boiling. Pretty close. Need a wide angle lens. This is not the greatest setup. Sure. You want to crush these up too. I like to pop a hole in the bag there, get all the air out, just mush them up. They don't have to be super fine for what I'm going to do with them. Got those crushed up. Let's get our beans open here. I think that's boiling now. Shut this heat off here. Now the trick is going to be, can I fill that container up without spilling water all over back here and burning myself. I should have brought gloves back here because I know this is going to be really hot. Alright, let's see how we can do this. Come over here. You don't need to fill it up to the line if you're gonna do it like this. I just like to cover everything. That's really it. Perfect. About twice as much water as I actually needed. I'm gonna go ahead and dump that out. I'm just going to move this over here and let that cool down. I'm going to take this lid and I'm going to set it right on top of there to hold that heat in. And I need to get these green chilies opened up. I did grab a can opener, thankfully. I thought I had one in here, but I ended up not having one, so beans. So I'm really glad I did. I actually put this stuff in the trash. See anything. There we go. How's the light looking on there? Might set this over there, give us a little bit more light. That helps a bit, I guess. Alright, let's get our green chilies open. Ideally, you'd like to have everything that has a pop top on it, but this did not. I think these are pretty juicy, yeah. I'm going to take a little bit of that juice and I'm going to put it in here. I'll drain the rest outside. Not in bear country, folks, they don't have to worry about it. Just a little bit of that juice in there. Add a little bit extra to the flavor, and I'm going to drain these out here. Okay, I've got that drained. I'm going to go ahead and add a little scoop of these chilies into here. Pull the lid back out. There we go. I'm not going to use all of them. That's quite a lot in there. I'll get a healthy scoop. Go ahead and toss those chilies in there. It's going to be pretty spicy. Close back up. I've got another plastic bag that I can put this in, so I can save it. I thought I did. Yep, I do. These geese are still hanging out there. I want to make sure I don't spill that everywhere. Try to keep it upright. Stir this up a bit. That was good. A couple more minutes, let it soak up as much of the water as possible. Try not to make a mess everywhere. Put my beans up there. Get myself a plate. Tortilla. I should have enough for two. I don't know. I might. I do have some more chips, so I might actually make two of them since I have two of the shells with me. See how this is looking. Smells good. I've got a lot of juice in there, so I need to drain that out. Drop the noodle. Oh, I don't want to waste it. Should I drain it or should I scoop it out? You know, I'm going to scoop it out just so I can save that juice. Be tasty. So I'm going to take the beans. I'm just going to put a layer of beans down. You could put these right in the soup and mix them up if they're in there if you want. I've done it all sorts of different ways. Get a couple scoops of beans on there. Pop that lid back on there. And go ahead and spread this out. Take my chips. Spread them out on there, give yourself a little crunch. You can use any kind of chips you want. So I'll take some of our soup here. Give you guys, try to get a little bit closer for you guys. Got our beans and chips on there. We're just going to scoop some of this stuff out. Try not to get the juice with it. Take about half so I've got enough for 2 burritos. Damn, that looks really good. And then I don't think this has been opened yet. Nope. Dirty. I haven't had this sriracha in quite a while, honestly. Here we go, guys. Looks pretty good. Let's see if we can give this a taste. All right. Let's get this in our belly. See how this one tastes. I usually don't do the same recipe like twice in a row. Yeah, that looks like it might taste good. Makes a nice burrito. And I've got enough for 2. You can taste those green chilies, man. That's really good. Now you can put the chips in the soup and then they'll absorb a lot of the water too. It kind of makes more of like a paste and it's really good that way. But I like putting the chips on this way because then you get a little crunch in there. It's almost like a meat and potato. I mean, you've got your summer sausage in there. The sausage is warmed up. The noodles it'd be like rice. It's really good. And it's really simple. You don't need a lot of different things, and none of that stuff you really need to keep refrigerated at all. Sure, some of it's probably refrigerated after opening, but depends on how much you're using. I don't know. We brought out just portions for this, but you know, you can go grab anything. I mean, you can make this stuff out of the gas station. If you don't have a tortilla, I mean, you can mix it all together and eat it. Just mix whatever you want up and eat. It's pretty good. It's going. Glad I got my nice fancy plate. And that's good. Now, I know there's probably a few of you out there that have had something like this. And if you have had it before, in some places it's a bit of a delicacy. And as you can see, I'm just shoveling it in because it's so good. It's got some really good spice to it. Those chilies were good. A good idea. I probably could have even put the whole thing in there and it wouldn't have been too bad. Popped a hole in the back. I'm glad I didn't put the whole soup on here, and I've got enough for another one because it's really good. I've got plenty of beans and chips. Oh. So good. Well, guys, that was a really good supper. I haven't eaten the second one yet. I'm not gonna put you guys through watching me shovel a big old burrito in my mouth again. But it's starting to get dark out, so I'm gonna get my mess in here cleaned up, and then I'm just gonna kind of hang out, and I'm gonna watch a movie, see how well this heater and this reflecting insulations, see how well it helps keep things warmer in here. I really need to figure out something to block those little gaps that I have at the end of the tailgate here in the window. And then I'd also like to figure out a way to lock this thing from the inside. There's ways you can do it with like the caps that have the single handle in the middle, but I've got one on each side and they're not connected. And when you close it in here, it just doesn't, I can't really picture a good way to lock it up. So if you guys out there, oh, burritos. If any of you guys out there have any recommendations on how to lock a camper like this from the inside, this is it's a Lear shell with a handle on each side, a T-handle. So, but anyways, I'll see you guys in the morning. I'll give you guys an update in the morning on how well this heater worked. Maybe I'll check in with you a little bit later tonight, but we'll see. So stay tuned.
Oh, good morning, guys. Here, let me open this window up. You can see. Here, I'll turn this light off. Look how dark it is in here. You can't see nothing. But it's light outside. That reflective stuff really helps to keep the light out. And it actually really helped keep me warm last night. I have this heater in here, but I have it set to the lowest setting. I gotta go this way, I guess. I got it set to the lowest setting. Oh, sorry people, I just woke up. It's 7:57, so it's still pretty early, but I got stuff to do today, so I'm not mad I actually woke up this early. All right, guys. Like I said, that insulation really helped to keep me warm in here. I got to turn this heater down a little bit. I'm sure it's a little loud for you guys, but I cranked it up because I got this window open back here. I don't know if you guys can see, but those geese are still hanging out in the same spot they were last night. I heard them a little bit last night. I'm really surprised they're just sitting there on the ice like that, but whatever. Anyways, I gotta get home and I gotta get some stuff edited. Because I'm gonna head up north here and go do some ice fishing in the morning. I gotta leave at like 3 in the morning. Although I think you guys, well, no, you guys will see this video before then. So, I really appreciate you guys watching. I upload every 3 days, fishing, camping, outdoor stuff. If you want to see more of this, definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And if you thought the video was cool, give it a like. It helps me out a lot. So, like I said, I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for the next adventure. I'll see you in a bit.